Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. This is a presentation for our discussion and understanding based on the articles about the implementation of HACCP management system in a chocolate ice cream plant. We are from Group 9, which consists of me, Norlaila Amira, Lim Guan Yang, Lim Jia and Anissa Natasha. So let's get right into it.
Based on the article, the HACCP hazard analysis critical control point. There are two major components in HACCP, which are hazard analysis and critical control. Hazard analysis is identifying and assessing food production processes for any factors that make the food unsafe, while the critical control points formulates and manage the procedures and to minimize the safety hazard of the final product. The HACCP is globally used in various countries and helpful in gaining customers' trust and establishing good corporate image. And lastly, HACCP is important in ensuring safety of food to be consumed by consumers.
The main highlight is that how the HACCP management system is implemented in food production, which is chocolate ice cream in this case. It is crucial to perform the hazard analysis by identifying the hazard factors in terms of biological, chemical, and physical in every technical process and carrying out the corresponding prevention measures. In the hazard analysis of ice cream production, both CCPs are biological hazards, which is pathogen contamination. Basically, there are 7 steps including raw material acceptance, material mixing, homogenization, pasteurization, aging, freezing, and hardening. Each step in the production process requires an environment or strictly controlled condition to prevent contamination of microorganisms. Hence, this can be achieved by practicing sanitary operating procedures in food manufacturing.
From the result of hazard analysis, there are 2 controllable procedures known as critical control point were selected, and critical limit for each critical control point were established based on government regulation and industrial standard. The first CCP that have been identified is at the pasteurization procedure. The hazard factor in pasteurization is a biological factor where living pathogens survive after the process. Inadequate pasteurization may cause the pathogen to remain survive and grow, whereas extra elevated temperature and long pasteurization period may negatively affect final product quality. So the critical limit for optimal pasteurization process will set up that the temperature should be maintained at 80 to 85 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. The second CCP is at freezing and chocolate chip addition process. The hazard factor of this process is pathogen contamination and growth. During this process, the pathogen may be incorporated within the air and chocolate chip to contaminate the food. Hence, in order to minimize this safety hazard, good hygiene practice is important. The processing facility should be in a clean operation area with a strictly controlled factory environment and personal hygiene. The facility need to perform standard clean-in-place procedure frequently to ensure that the environment for material addition remains sanitary.
Next, we have the monitoring procedure, which is to ensure every CCP are continuously fulfilled. So it consists of 4 factors, which are object, method, frequency, and personal. Object is for the additive quantity, and method is like, for example, asking for inspection report, and frequency is like checking CCP for every batch, and personal is for the operators. And lastly, we have the establishment of corrective measure, verification, and records and documentation. So basically, corrective measure is to ensure the safety of products, where the corrective measures are essential when there are occurrence of any aberration or deviation from any of the CCP. Then we have the verification, which is to examine the effectiveness of HACCP, which, for example, by doing random sampling and testing. And lastly, which is the most important thing, is to records and documentation, where all the HACCP activities of food production are being recorded, which can be easily help in tracing the source of CCP deviation, which is the cause of contamination. And that is all the summary of our understanding based on the handouts given about the implementation of HACCP management system in a chocolate ice cream plant. Thank you and goodbye.